economy and getting out in front of COVID, contact tracing through communication and coordination with our elected officials on the municipal level. So certainly the Finance Committee, I think, would be obviously an important place to begin, given the need for tax credits, incentives, and things to move business forward. The Commerce Committee, I think, would be another area that would incentivize businesses to take on apprenticeships and to move initiatives forward that would create more jobs and grow our economy. And I think certainly planning would be another area that's something we can touch base on. But I suppose get out in front and move the economy forward is the key.
Okay. Ms. Wink, do you want to say anything in extension? You're on mute. Ms. Wink, you're on mute.
Ah, there we go. Thank you.
Okay.
I didn't have the power.
Sorry.
It's going to be tough because my opponent has a record. I don't have a record. I've shown up every day for work as a mother, as a employer. You can be on all the committees you want and have all the titles you want, but skin in the game if you don't show up. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Perone, anything further?
I get that, and obviously, with all the committees that I'm on in a concise period of time, a 3 or 4 month session versus a 6 month session, conflicts arise, and but at the end of the day, it's really about what we're putting on the table, what policies we're moving through in order to move our state forward. And my heart has not been out of this for a single minute since I've been elected. It's an honor to serve the people of the 137th, and I would like to continue doing so.
Okay, that's time. Thank you. The next question goes to Mr. Perone first. As a legislator, how would you balance economic development against the health and safety of the citizens in response to COVID-19?
Well, thank you for that question. We need to reopen carefully. We need to reopen in a way that does not put people at harm's way. So we're focusing on social distancing, people wearing masks, and that sort of thing. But at the same time, we do have to open up. And so, working with businesses, in particular restaurants, working on ways that will allow them to open in safe and effective ways, I think is where we need to put a lot of our creativity. We are also in a sense, we're focusing on education as well. We have a lot of a lot of our students can't interact with other kids other than online, and so we also need to effectively and safely look at ways we can continue to open our schools and allow them to enjoy the aspects of school life that they've gotten used to.
Okay, Ms. Wink, and please make sure you're unmuted. Ms. Wink, you're still muted. Okay, go ahead.
Times. Everybody takes 2 times. Deny that. Yeah, I see that it's difficult, obviously, but on a national level, they can't tell us in Connecticut what's appropriate for Connecticut. In the Connecticut level, they cannot tell us what's appropriate for Fairfield County. And Fairfield County can't tell Norwalk what is best. Please make those decisions on a local level. You're going to hear that a lot from me. Make it on a local level. They don't see what we see. They don't have the volume of people. When you travel the state, there's very small towns that have 0. Of course, we're a hub of New York City. The train, follow the train. It's almost like you want to, watch the spread. That's where it's coming from. How am I going? You can't answer that. You got to get a team. The best thing you can always do in any problem is get professionals. I'm not a professional. I know infection control. This is, having this meeting is a reaction to COVID. Thank you. I wouldn't be able to answer that. Our team would be able to answer that. You pull in professionals, and that would be for Norwalk. I'm not going to answer for Connecticut. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Perone, anything further on the COVID question?
Sure. Two quick things. The districts are allowed to establish their own rules of how they open and how they test and trace, and whether or not they decide to do marching band, for example. I'm a father of a son who is in the Norwalk High marching band, and that's week by week we never know if the season's going to keep going. The other thing is we need to look at how we do how our testing and tracing does work, because the way it's being spread is different than it was back spring.
Okay, that's time. Ms. Wink, anything further on that question? Sound, please. Ms. Wink, you're still muted.
No, it's just a glitch in your system. It's nothing. I'm pushing the buttons. You can see me pushing buttons. I'm okay now. Can you hear me now?
All right. Let your time on the rebuttal start now if you want to say anything further.
No, this is good. I've said. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you both.
But just be understanding that it's just taken a minute longer to get back on. Thank you.
All right. The next question starts with Ms. Wink, whose line has just gone dead again. And I don't know why. Okay, there we go. 39 states allow either for multi-day in-person voting and or no excuse voting by mail to encourage participation. Here in Connecticut, that would require amending the state constitution. How high a priority would the expansion of voting rights in Connecticut be for you if elected?
It's not taking anybody's voting rights. It's the way ballots are collected. I'm traditional. I think it's great to go and get out and be with your family. It doesn't take a snowstorm to get you out to see your friends. It's a long story, but it's just personally, I'd like to see people go. I understand ballots, absentee ballots, and especially this year, I really see them. I really see them. But I think when people really have to get the whole gist. I think when they vote too soon, it's a relief because they're just tired of hearing everybody bash each other, but they're not getting the whole story. There's stories that come out all the time, even now on a national level. It's so tuned into a national level, on television, everything. But I think people really should wait up to the day, before they cast their vote. They're not getting all the information, I don't think, but, granted, if they have a medical condition, they just can't get there, that's understood. But there's curbside voting, there's a lot of different ways. And they really, pushed it so that we want you to vote. And I'll go on that, but not heart of hearts. I think there's other issues, big issues that we need to address, and to open up our Constitution for something, I don't know. It's a can of worms, but thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Perone, same question.
Well, actually, to dovetail on what my opponent said, I think that it's a fine line between how we do voting in Connecticut and being informed by what's happening on the federal level. I think that by and large Connecticut elections run smoothly. This year we were able to get 3 drop boxes put around Norwalk, the library, the South Norwalk, down South Norwalk
Station. Sorry. Yeah, I know.
All day long. City Hall. I was trying to remember the next one. But the issue is really that we also passed a law to make it provide for no excuses of voting because of COVID, and I think that but by and large I think our voting system is secure in the state.
Okay, Ms. Wink, anything further on that?
No, we're good, thank you.
Okay, Mr. Perone, anything further?
South Norwalk Police Station.
All right, thank you both. Next question is going to go to Mr. Perone first. Knowing that Norwalk Harbor got an F or failure grade in its recent Save the Sound report card because of inner harbor contamination. How should the legislature address this issue, especially considering the upcoming Walk Bridge project?
Well, between the runoff from the Norwalk River that comes down into and collects in the basin in Norwalk, as well as the runoff from drains, our water is more contaminated than it needs to be. We also face issues from pollution that comes up the eastern seaboard, collects in our area, driving up our ozone levels and our particulate matter in our atmosphere, which also then winds up in the water. So I think that we are, as a delegation, implored, obligated to make sure that we can push for legislation that will ease back on the things that are actually causing pollution in our sound. And I mean, a lot of it is also settled into the soil, and there are certain things that you can only do so much of. But we have been long time, always living along the coast of Connecticut, stewards of our sound. And I saw that report, and I was frankly horrified by it. And I think that we actually do need to address that and make sure that we get water as clean as possible. Oyster fishing is Norwalk's history. So I think that we need to be mindful of the business aspects of it as well as the environmental aspects.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Wink.
Yeah, our district totally envelopes up and down, the left side and the right side and all in between. I've had the honor of being a motorboater and a sailboater for my whole life. And I love Norwalk, the sound. You go up and down the sound and you see old factories, old piers, you just only imagine what's seeping back into our waterways. Between what is currently seeping into our waterways and historically. I don't know how much we could change. We don't rely, thank God, we don't rely on this for our water source for drinking water that we go upstate, but the waterways in Connecticut have always been dumped in. And, all the factories that we relied on water, and we've done it to ourselves. How can we get out of it? Again, it's going to take a team to really make our waterways, good again. They're very shallow. They're, silted in. We can get into Norwalk, which is great. It is an active area. But I'd like to see a team go in, and your oyster fishermen, and the Harbor Commission. I think they do a fantastic job in Norwalk. On a state level, I think we got to rely on them because they're the experts. And to pull their experience, I know it as recreational, but to really know how to fix it, I think, having the dump, the head of the harbor there for so long, I don't know, it was damaging, and it's not something we're going to see the end of in a lifetime. So again, team approach, and I hope that our numbers go up. And we are the water treatment for, area towns. And if it overflows, it overflows. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Perone, do you want to extend your remarks on this?
Yeah, I'd like to look two things. I'd like to go to the source, meaning the Norwalk River, work with our colleagues in the legislature upstate to see what we can do as a group to reduce the inflow into Norwalk Harbor, but also revisit some of the legislation that was meant to kill, to ease back on the algae that was growing, that basically fertilizers going into the sound, growing the algae, which then eclipsed a lot of life in the sound. If we can turn those two things around, I think those are two good first steps.
All right, that's time on the rebuttal. Ms. Wink, anything further? No, okay. Next question is going to go to Ms. Wink first. And once again, she's on mute. Ms. Wink?
Okay, wait a minute until it kicks in.
What is going wrong on that link? All right.
There we go.
Fair enough. All right. This question, as I say, goes to Ms. Wink first. It's a question regarding equity in Connecticut's educational system. How do you think we solve the problem of the two Connecticut's, which serves high-income students well, but is failing many of the lower-income students?
I don't even want to answer this, because when you really have your teeth into it and your hands and claws into it, as a legislator, you would have an answer to this. I'm going to ask Chris to this is all a result of policies that have gone on. If I had an answer, I'd be brilliant, but maybe Chris could answer why there's two systems.
Okay, is there anything you would recommend to remedy it?
Me?
Ellen still has time on her answer if she wants to use it, although her sound has gone out again.
There we go. Sorry, thank you.
Okay.
Is there anything I would remedy?
Yeah.
You can't throw money at something and expect it to be changed. We've been throwing money at an education system. I love charter schools. I love magnet schools. That's what we really need, not to take away services for our own, because we take pride in my kids. I went through Norwalk school system, and it's a public school system. Do we have to revamp stuff? Yeah, every day life changes. The whole idea of remote learning right now is damaging. We don't all have a nice living room or dining room and a tablet. Well, our kids have gotten tablets and stuff, but it's just another problem. It's another cog. That's all.
Okay, thank you. Now, Mr. Perone, same question.
Did you ask it again?
Yes. In the question regarding the Connecticut educational system, how do you think we solve the problems of the two Connecticuts, which serves high-income students well, but is failing many low-income students?
Well, I support the ECS funding system, but I also support, spending the money wisely. And in 2014, I was, played a big part in getting P-TECH brought to Norwalk. P-TECH is a partnership with IBM that essentially educates kids in computer science while they work on obtaining an associate's degree. And really the idea behind it is to develop a pipeline of IT talent for back office needs within the computer science. If you look at why GE left, they didn't leave because of the taxes. That might be debated, but the fact of the matter is they left for talent. So I think that the thing about P-TECH and our initiatives on advanced manufacturing and manufacturing, encouraging employers to hire younger students, and also making a manufacturing part of middle school curriculum, or the awareness of it.
Okay.
Is that we are, the benefits are really to, create a level playing field, and to make sure that it's one thing to focus on STEM and develop our children, but to have jobs to move into when they graduate, having these options, I think is also key. There are a lot of other things you can say about it, but the fact is, without making sure that pipelines are available, but also we have affordable housing. We also have, cheap and efficient transportation to move our workforce around. We're not going to grow as a state. So it's all part of one larger mix.
Okay, Ms. Wink, do you want to say anything else on this question?
No, but thank you.
Okay, and Mr. Perone, anything further?
You have 3 hours. Yeah, I mean, it's something that's very important to all of us.
Okay, I want to thank you both for this, but at this point, with about 4.5 minutes to go in this segment, it is time for closing statements. By pure random luck, Mr. Perone, you will get the first close, and Ms. Wink will get the second.
Well, thank you very much, and thank you to the League of Women Voters in Norwalk. It's been the honor of my life to serve as your state representative. And we have a lot of work to do going forward to rebuild our economy and get our state moving again. And 10 years ago, I worked on jumpstarting our economy after the Great Recession. and it was basically a co-authored legislation that would create R&D tax credits, the angel investor tax credit, as well as creating green jobs and training in renewables and that kind of thing. I think that we need to really focus on rebooting all of this thinking, getting together with leaders in academia, tax policy, in the business community, and work together to see what ideas are going to bubble to the surface and move those forward, make those a priority. And I thank you very much, everybody, for your time.
Thank you. And Ms. Wink.
Thank you again to the League of Women Voters for orchestrating this debate. It's been a significant milestone this year for women voters. Happy 100th anniversary to us. Like then, like now, we need change. I'm stepping up to represent all of Norwalk Republicans, Independents, and Democrats, and looking out for our public safety, our public health, and our public education system. You've heard my views, and when elected, I will listen to yours. I believe the current legislators of the state of Connecticut are looking to overstep their jurisdiction, to regulate more and underfund imposed mandates. It's time to clean out dead wood on many levels. We need to stop spending more, mandating more, and making promises that we can't afford. I like to remind voters that if you've already cast your ballot, you can still change your vote until Friday at 5 o'clock, the 30th, through the town clerk's office. Have you picked the candidate that's best, or just the same old, same old? I'm from here and I know all of you. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. On behalf of the League, I want to thank both candidates from the 137th District. Much appreciated. All right, at this point, Laura, we switch.
I think we're switching up. Yes, Jean, and I apologize. I really appreciate Ms. Wink and Mr. Perone being the guinea pigs for us getting our technical act together. I think we've gotten most of the glitches figured out. So let's just take a look here and see who's up next. And
Mr. Sims and Mr. Flynn.
Correct. Okay, so we have the 140th District, Travis Sims and John Flynn at 7. And if Ellen and Mr. Perone, if you guys could shut off your video now, I can do it for you if you want, but that would be great. Thank you very much.
Okay, and now Mr. Sims, all right, your video's on, and Mr. Flynn, your video is on. Very good. Okay, and we are a minute ahead, but that's all right if you gentlemen don't mind.
I think everybody's good with that.
All
we
right.
have to unmute. Oh, they have to be
Yes,
unmuted.
please,
Okay,
Mr.
let's see.
Sims,
Hold
Mr.
on.
Flynn, unmute.
You need to unmute. If you guys could both unmute yourselves.
Good.
Great. And keep unmuted. Mr. Sims, thanks. That way we won't have any, hopefully any glitches, and everybody behave and mind the moderator. Thank you.
All right, same rules this time as we had for the first segment.